Greetings all. I got email message from a friend who was concerned about theonomy, and he raised several issues. I want to deal with one of them here, and they're kind of two or three things related. He said, well, Nathan, if we apply God's law to the state and to all of life and so on, as you say, well, won't that be like Sharia law? Or won't that be just like the jihadis we see in Iraq, like ISIS, like killing and so on? And that's almost too horrific question to answer, but here goes. Number one, when I say God's law, I mean the God of the Bible. And the God of the Bible is just and good, and the results of his law are justice and goodness in society, whereas the God of Islam is a different God, and the results of his law being applied, such as it is, would be precisely what you got in Arab countries, although Arab countries are a mixture of secular humanist law, Christian law, and all sorts. Secondly, there's the means of enforcing the law. Christian Reconstruction has explicitly said many, many times in writing that laws should be imposed upon oneself first, and then one's family, if one has a family, and one's spheres of responsibility, be it business and so on. There is no top-down in Christian Reconstructionism as such. There is no imposing something on top of an unwilling population. Indeed, when the covenants were signed or were agreed to in Israel, the people had to agree to them. They had to give consent. So the methods of imposing God's law are bottom-up and voluntary, which is completely different from the Islamic model. A third point is that you do have religious law at the moment in the UK and the US and elsewhere. A large block of our law is common law, comes from British common law, which has a lot of Christian biblical law about it. And also you have the religion of secular humanism, which of late has brought, for example, homosexual marriages, abortion, euthanasia. So why would you complain to me about being worried about God's law when the God of secular humanism's law, under which you presently live, is causing you so much distress? Which leads me to my last point, which is, do you actually know God's law? Have you taken the time to study it? Do you meditate upon it? Do you read through the relevant passages? Have you read books that help you understand it? Or not? Because if you come and are worried that the application of biblical law to life will be productive of societal evil, then it is pretty clear that you do not have a clue about God's law. And let's be frank here. We must, if we claim to love God, we must love his commandments. So, action step, read God's law, meditate upon it as a Christian, and learn to love it. And if you don't love it right now, ask God to help you to love it, and he will certainly answer your prayer.